So for more on all this, I want to bring in ABC News' White House correspondent Karen Travers, along with former federal prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, Neama Rahmani. Thank you both for your time today. But Karen, I want to start with you. The White House is responding to this. What are they saying?
President Trump himself has not yet directly weighed in on this, Alex, but the White House in a statement had said that the facts of the indictments against James Comey and Letitia James have not changed and that this would not be the final word on this matter. We also just heard from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt in the last hour, who said that, yes, the Justice Department would be appealing these rulings. Now, the question here is, what do they do going forward? You have Lindsey Halligan in this position. He's the president's hand-picked U.S. attorney for the Eastern District. He put her in that role in late September, saying that she was loyal to him as an attorney, that she is a tough, smart attorney. But will they try to move on from her and go about this in a different way and then bring back these charges? I'll leave that to Neama as the lawyer here, but it's certainly something that we're keeping an eye on. But for now, we know that the administration will be appealing these rulings. And as I say, the White House says this ruling from the judge today is not going to be the final word, according to the White House.
Well, and Neama, Karen kind of alluded to this, but the judge dismissed this case without prejudice, meaning that it could be refiled by another prosecutor, correct?
Alex, really, Karen touched upon it, and I'm going to separate the two cases. Let's be clear, the Tish James case, it can be refiled by another validly appointed prosecutor. I expect that to happen, and that case will move forward. Obviously, she has her defenses of selective vindictive prosecution, and her lawyer, who represents Comey as well, Abby Lowe, is going to make those arguments. But let me talk about the James Comey case and why this is such a potential fatal ruling. Because the Department of Justice waited until the 11th hour, just days before the statute of limitations ran in the case. And now that Lindsey Halligan's appointment is invalid, everything she's done is void. So when she went into that grand jury to personally herself present the Comey indictment and the James indictment, if that ruling is upheld and that indictment is dismissed by the Fourth Circuit and eventually make its way to the Supreme Court, the case is dead in the water because it can't be refiled. This was an unforced error by the Department of Justice. If they wanted to go after Comey, they should have done so in 2017 when he allegedly leaked classified material to the Wall Street Journal. Now that they've waited so long and they appointed someone in the position that has no prosecution experience whatsoever, they're on the defense. And if this ruling is affirmed, then Comey's going to walk away a free man.
Well, and so what happens to Halligan? Is she just replaced? Does she stay in the Eastern District of Virginia in some other capacity?
So what the Department of Justice has done, and Pam Bondi realizing that this is a potential issue, they said, you know what? She's not going to be an interim U.S. attorney. That may violate the appointments clause. She's going to be a special attorney. And because that's under a different statute, she could potentially stay in that position. But these cases in particular, as well as others in the Eastern District of Virginia, where she was the U.S. attorney, they're all problematic. Now, again, most of them don't have a statute of limitations problem. A new attorney can just replace Halligan, but this certainly has to be embarrassing for her personally. And let's not forget, there's still other issues she's dealing with, including potentially improper indictments, presenting a case to 2 grand jurors, not 12, some problematic statements. This is just one of the defense motions that has been raised, and it's just the first one that was granted. So again, she's on the run, and again, this has to be very embarrassing for her professionally, as well as for the entire Department of Justice.
Well, and certainly now anything that she has touched is going to be scrutinized. But Karen, Halligan's appointment comes after the president made it pretty clear and open that he called for Comey and James to be prosecuted.
Yeah, he replaced the person who had been in that position because they weren't moving forward with these indictments, and put Lindsey Halligan in with an explicit direction to go ahead and do this. And you look back at the president's social media post at that time in late September and the comments he was making, he was very clear and putting extreme public pressure on the Justice Department, on the Attorney General, Pam Bondi herself, to move forward with charges against his perceived political enemies. There was that social media post that was directed at Pam specifically. It almost read more like a direct message than something that was supposed to be put out there for the whole world to see. But the president said that there needed to be action and that he wanted to see the Justice Department do it quickly. He said the reputation and credibility was being killed of the administration by not taking this action. Alex, it was just a couple days later when these indictments, the one of James Comey, then went forward.
All right. Karen, Neama, thank you both.